My name is Andrew Ittleman with Fuerst Ittleman in Miami, Florida. Well, my role here at the conference is that I spoke yesterday about how United States law is affecting non-U.S. financial institutions, specifically non-U.S. MSBs. And basically what that means is that there are quite a few money services businesses that are physically located outside of the United States, but by virtue of United States law and regulation, if these companies have a footprint in the U.S. that's considered to be substantial by FinCEN, then FinCEN deems those MSBs, regardless of the fact that they're situated outside of the United States, to be regulated by U.S. law.
What is your message to the participants here in terms of those laws?
Right.
What do they need to concern themselves with?
Well, first of all, they need to understand that these laws exist. And there's a misconception among foreign businesses typically that because of the fact that they're foreign, because of the fact that they're domiciled or physically located outside of the United States, that United States law doesn't touch them. But that's simply not true. What United States law provides, specifically new rules that have been put in place by FinCEN, is that if they operate here by virtue of having bank accounts and or having clients in the United States or sending money to recipients in the United States or on behalf of people in the United States, that these laws do impact them. And they have an obligation to be compliant with the Bank Secrecy Act, including maintaining anti-money laundering programs, registering with FinCEN, becoming licensed in the states that would require licensing, filing suspicious activity reports, currency transaction reports, on and on and on.
For the uninitiated, FinCEN stands for?
The Financial Crimes Enforcement Network.
You had actually touched on something I was going to ask you about, the laws in terms of protecting from money laundering. Can you touch on that a little bit? How big a problem is money laundering in the money transfer business?
Well, historically it's been a big problem, and the United States of America, by Congress and the different federal agencies, have created statutes and regulations to prevent financial institutions and MSBs from being tools of criminals and money launderers. And really what's happened since 2001, after 9/11, and really going back to 1986, is that financial institutions and MSBs have an obligation to pay attention to who they're doing business with, the type of transactions that they're participating in, and things of that nature, to make sure that they're not being tools of money launderers. And it's no longer enough for them to say, I don't have an obligation, I'm not required to pay attention, and they're not allowed to just sit there and stand idly by while these things happen. And that's really why programs at events like this are important, for purposes of educating these businesses so that they understand what the trends are, what the rules are, what their requirements are.
What your overall opinions, thoughts on the conference itself?
I love the conference. I think that Hugo and David do a beautiful job putting it together. I love participating. I'll be participating as long as I'm invited to do so.